2020 saw a massive boom in small form factor keyboards. Whether it was a 10 keyless style like this, or even a 60 to 65% style like the Street 65. Some of the big names out there like Logitech and even Razer and stuff like that, they came out with some new small form factor styles that were just incredible. So where can the market go next? We have some low profiles, we have some 10 keyless on the market. Where can we go for here in 2021? What does the future of gaming keyboards look like? Have we possibly just reached the ceiling about where keyboards can actually go? I think not. I think 2021 has some big surprises in store for us. Let's talk about it. So as you may have guessed, this video is going to be a little different than my reviews that I've been doing. This one's just going to be more of a discussion piece today. But before we get into it, guys, I want to know, what features do you want to see on keyboards coming up in the future? What features do you think might come out here in 2021, and what do you want to see added to future iterations of keyboards? Let's start with wireless. Logitech has already proven that you can make a lightning-fast, virtually zero latency mechanical keyboard for gaming. Keep it on a small form factor. Granted, the only problem with Logitech's version is they cost over $200. So who's next? So we already have some wireless Bluetooth versions from Keychron, from N, and even from Cooler Master. But who is the next big brand that can actually break into that market and make an actually very respectable, well-loved product? And that's not a slide at these other brands. That's just, when you put a big name behind it, people would seem to trust it a little bit more. And guys, I'm thinking Razer. So Razer already came into the market with the Razer Huntsman Mini. I believe it came out in 2020, and people seem to really, really love that keyboard. They're a big break into the small form factor market, and they're already coming out with a few really good 10 keyless designs. So what I think they could do next is just like they did with their Ultimate Series mice. They made some incredible wireless, rechargeable, great mice on the market right now. I think they could do the same thing with that Razer Huntsman Mini design for that keyboard. Of course, that would up the price of it a little bit more, but, add those wireless functions in there. Make it Bluetooth, make it 2.4 gigahertz, whatever you need to do, make it to where it has wireless capabilities, and I think that would be an incredible stepping point into the market, into the place that they haven't branched into just yet. And another reason why I choose them is because I think that they can do it without breaking the bank. Just like their Ultimate Series mice, your barrier to entry there is about $100 to $130. I think with the keyboard, they could probably get around that same price point as well. Do a small form factor keyboard, keep it a really good quality design, but then add wireless functions, that are extremely good with low latency. Make it to where it's competing with that Logitech G915, but come in at around $130 to $140. That's clearly going to be the better option than the full 10 keyless oversight. It's actually, the G915 is bigger than just a 10 keyless board. It's got the extra real estate that it takes up on your mouse mat. That's a huge thing right there. If Razer came out with the Huntsman Mini wireless version, it could solve all those issues and come in at such a great price point. I believe that they could do it. And I'm not a huge fan of Razer peripherals anyway, so I feel like that is a pretty good thing coming from me. Now, of course, along with that, you may ask, who the hell would even want a Bluetooth or, even just a wireless keyboard in general? You can justify a wireless keyboard a little bit more just because it's usually using 2.4 gigahertz, and as we've proven and we see in current day, you can get those with virtually zero latency. But what about Bluetooth? You're not going to get a Bluetooth keyboard with zero latency. There's usually going to be that just tiny bit of input delay and sometimes a big input delay. Well, I say it because of cloud gaming. I do think this is going to be the year that we see a huge push for cloud gaming. 2021 is going to be the year that we see Stadia, we see xCloud get its big time push, GeForce Now, and even Amazon Luna. All of those are going to be pushing that market for cloud gaming that we haven't seen that hard push for just yet. And yes, you could always play those with a controller, but for those of you out there, and including myself, I do play Destiny through Stadia every once in a while just so I can kind of collect some daily rewards and do little small piddly things like when I'm on my lunch break at work and stuff. And it's nice when I can actually use the mouse and keyboard for that. Now, however, if you're using a tiny, old rinky-dink laptop or something like that, which can actually run games through Stadia, you don't want to use the onboard keyboard, and you definitely don't want to use that mouse trackpad. So to be able to have a Bluetooth keyboard and a Bluetooth mouse that actually works well, and you feel good about it, you're proud of, I think that would be incredible. I definitely think it's a market that Razer, HyperX, and a few other companies like that could really start to get into and really start to get some market share there. Another area I can see a huge shift to would be in profile. You know, I think we're gonna see a lot more keyboards this year come to market that have a low profile design. Just like the Logitech G915, you know, made from a big company, it came out, it's a mechanical keyboard with low profile mechanical switches. And even a keyboard like this Street 65 from Fnatic right here, you can see it's got these low profile, really good, just clean looking switches, and it's a 65% layout. You know, a keyboard like this is gonna take some adjusting, and it takes some getting used to. You know, when I first started using this keyboard right here, it wasn't the easiest to find my finger placement with it, but I got used to it really fast, and I personally actually fell in love with this design and with this layout. You know, and obviously I know it's going to be a little more niche to have a low profile design keyboard with using those low profile switches, but I think, you know, when you offer more options on the market like that, you can catch the eye of other people. And plus, you know, people like me, people that are enthusiasts for gaming peripherals, you know, we're going to buy multiple options anyways. You're going to increase that market share there as well. You know, Logitech has already proven that, you know, with their keyboard that people seem to really love that. So I think, you know, Razer or even HyperX or, you know, other companies like that again could come out with start coming out with some low profile designs just to mix it up a bit, give people other options to choose from. I mean, hell, even Cooler Master is rolling out a low profile 65 and 60% keyboards too. So, you know, obviously the market share is growing, and I think there is more of a demand for it than there has been. And last but not least, guys, hot swappable switches, which honestly, it's 2021, and I think it's time that we just see that as the gold standard across all boards moving forward. Please. Please. You know, a year or two ago, yes, to see hot swappable switches as they were kind of just really starting to become popular and like really starting to roll out, it would have been pretty rare to get a keyboard with that. But now we see companies like Glorious, and we see companies like Keychron and stuff like that making really good mechanical keyboards for cheap that are hot swappable. And if you don't know what hot swappable means, basically it just means that instead of like the old style mechanical switches which are soldered onto the board, these are actually just insertable. You can take them out, or you can move them, swap them around, and do anything you want with them. And so you don't have to solder anymore. And I think that would be such a smart decision to start adding for big name brand keys moving forward. Granted, I know some companies make their own mechanical key switches instead of using like Cherries and Gateron and things like that, but that gives increased opportunity to sell more products. Because if you think about it, you know, if somebody gets a keyboard that, say someone got a keyboard from Razer, and you know it came with hot swappable switches. Say you have one of your switches on it that just messed up on you. Instead of having to buy a whole new keyboard, you could just buy those switches, and yeah, of course they could put like a pretty decent markup on their switches. Then they just sold a switch, and then also people could still interchange and buy different switches later on for their keyboard. And then of course they can make more switches, so people could have like 4 different sets of switches for the same keyboard. You know, one, of course, that adds for more customization, but then of course that makes, you know, that just makes the consumer happier right there, and that gives them a more chance to sell more products and to get their products out there. Plus, say if somebody isn't a fan of Razer keyboards, but they were a fan of the switches that Razer uses, then they could buy Razer switches, put them in other keyboards, and that's even more money that Razer could be making. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I don't know. But for me, I think here in 2021, moving forward, hopefully, all keyboards we see will have hot swappable switches. I think that is a need, an absolute must right there. And even HyperX, I think, is also seeing, you know, the need right there, because I believe that they're hinting at a keyboard that's about to come out that has hot swappable as well. So fingers crossed, hopefully, please, we see hot swappable as the gold standard moving forward. So guys, once again, I want to ask you, what do you think? What are your predictions for here in 2021 that we're going to see for keyboards? And what do you want to see put in keyboards moving forward, or what kind of features do you want to see, or what kind of keyboards do you just want in general? What are you hoping for? I don't know, guys. Let me know down in the comments. I keep the conversation flowing on this. But these are my predictions for here in 2021, what gaming keyboards are going to look like. You know, I don't have any insider information. I'm just kind of pulling this all in my butt, basically, but I just really love brewing these ideas, and, you know, I love this industry, and I love thinking about gaming peripherals, you know, whether it's for console or whether it's for PC. I just love talking and thinking about this stuff. So, of course, I wanted to do a think piece on all this. And real quick, as an honorable mention, guys, once again, I want to bring up Glorious. I talked about it in my last video, which I'll put the link for that right here if you want to watch it. Glorious has just already, or basically they're hot out the gate. They are leading the race right now, already announcing their first new keyboard for 2021. It's a 75% layout, which is pretty interesting. It's not a layout that I've seen before, and but I really love the way this keyboard looks, guys. So if you want to, I'll put a link for that in the description below so you can check it out too. But like I said, that just already has me so excited for what this year can hold for keyboards. But anyways, guys, that wraps up this video right here. Make sure you hit a thumbs up if you liked it, and guys, sub if you loved the video. Anyways, until next time, guys, you take it easy, stay safe, stay swole, peace.